Hey everybody, welcome back to another day of crypto. We're gonna have fun today. We've got lots to talk about and check out. As you guys know, I kind of specialize in covering a bit of everything, but with a special focus, obviously, on Pulsechain and TitanX. That's kind of where we live, and of course, we'll be covering X1 full on when that launches as well. So the first fork of Solana, can't miss that one, right? Got to be some mad, exciting games and as well as awesome tech in that. We can't wait for that to get going. And it's getting ever so closer with the white paper recently out on the 11th from Jack Levin there. So that's going to be fun when it comes. More to talk about, more value opportunities to take part in as well. We've got crypto markets, Pulsechain, TitanX. That's where we're going to start, but we're going to obviously cover the stock market and crypto in a decent amount. We're going to cover a few projects as well. PUSD ALGO, Pulse Mafia, but on Pulsechain, but we're also going to be covering Ouroboros there in TitanX, and we're going to go look at you best a really cheeky meme, Uranus, which is about to launch on base chain with its price target. So we're only about a day or so away. I think that might be a real winner. Could be the first flagship for TitanX OmniChain, and that's coming up. It's speculative, so let's be clear about that. But has buy and burn tax mechanisms, could really pump, especially if green chart goes up as expected, and you get the base people start buying it, man. And a cool meme. The meme's kind of cheeky, isn't it? Uranus is kind of cheeky meme. They could be doing really well. So we're going to check that out later on too. Let's get into it. We got Bellas in the house there. Good to see you. Hey. Good to see you. And welcome to the chat. We got Property Review in the house there. Welcome also. Property Review, a long-time supporter. Big shout out there. And Brennan, our TA guru in the house there. Howdy, suit man. Hey, always good to see you, Brennan. Hope you're doing well. And we had some cheeky politics overnight as well. We saw JD Vance, the vice president in Germany, in front of a defense audience, talking about free speech and closing tight borders, immigration, and great to see that Europeans need to hear that. Whether they're going to listen or not is it's hard to be say. They'll have to listen to some degree if they're making arrangements. But of course, they have their own globalist elite project, and they don't want to give up power, right? They want to enslave everybody, and they pretend that they give freedom, but really they're oppressors. And of course, you just got to, rather than take their words, you got to look at their actions, right? What are their actions actually doing? They can say whatever they want, right? But what are the actions? And of course, we've seen some pretty bad stuff. So great to see JD Vance there pushing freedom and common sense. Wish we had something like that down in New Zealand. Be very, very good. All right, let's get into crypto. We're going to get into the stock market first, and let's kick off with that. We got Friday's results, right? So at the end of the week, actually, this week's not been too bad for the stock market. Today's a little bit mixed. We've got the Dow Jones there is down 0.4%, 165 points to 44,500. S&P 500 is flat, down just half a point, 6,100, and the Nasdaq is actually up. So Nasdaq's got all the tech companies in it. It's up 0.4%, 81 points to 20,026. So we're back over the 20,000 mark there for Nasdaq. That's very positive, I think. Now, we did have retail sales out. Retail sales were below expectations. So retail sales fell by 0.9% last month after an upwardly revised increase of 0.7% in December. Economists had predicted a dip of 0.2% in retail sales. And of course, that was a bigger 0.9 is bigger than 0.2. So that is the way it landed. So, we've had some still strong CPI inflation data, but lower wholesale prices. And of course, this retail sales normally would dampen down pressure on prices, right? So we'll see where it all lands, but a mixed results at the moment. Now, speaking of that, Trump reciprocal tariffs, he signed that, I think, EO executive order yesterday. And that's going to be reciprocal. I think that's going to help realign the world order, particularly in favor of America. And of course, secondly, today he signed energy executive orders to open up and unleash the energy in the United States, which is going to be massive. That's going to have a massive impact on energy prices in the world. So it's going to be really important. Speaking of energy prices, let's look at where they are at the moment. We got West Texas is at $70.74. That's almost down 0.75%. and Brent oil is $74.64, down 0.5% there. So already getting some nice sort of pullback in the energy prices. That's going to be good at the pump, right? Especially if you're in the United States, you love your summer driving coming up. That's going to be good for you. Now, obviously, down under, the cheaper the energy, the better. Now, we've got the issue down under that our exchange rate's so much lower than the US dollar. And so we have a declining exchange rate and high oil prices / gas prices at the pump. It gets really expensive. So anything that Trump can do to lower oil prices is going to benefit not just the Americans, but many people around the world. So if you're not in Saudi Arabia, where oil is pretty much free, it's going to be really, really positive. Gold at the moment is at $2,900, so record levels. Pulled back a little bit today, down 1.5%. Silver is up 0.4% there, 13 cents to $32.85. So silver there doing pretty well. And so I think that's kind of the highlights there at the moment. Obviously, another thing is that Trump is trying to look to end the war in the Ukraine. Obviously, having discussions on the phone yesterday with President Putin and President Zelensky, obviously pulling into the Europeans to some degree, but wants to end that, right? Something like 1.5 million people are dead, soldiers in particular, and obviously all the wounded. Wounded's always like, 2-3 to 1. So for every soldier dead, it is just a terrible thing. It's a pointless war. Sometimes you might argue that wars are of value. Perhaps World War II would be one of those, but this is really quite pointless as war. Probably could have been easily avoided early on. What didn't occur under Trump for sure. And it plays into the hand of globalists and that they love this war and using Putin as the enemy, the boogeyman, and so forth. So NATO has encroached on the borders of Russia, and so that wasn't part of the agreement. So you get into the conflict now when you're up against the border of Russia. So probably not surprising them. But in any case, hopefully the war will be over. The Europeans who haven't really invested that much in military, I know that they've built up towards about 2% of their budget after Trump pressure in the first instance, but have deindustrialized over the last couple of decades. When most important, when Putin did invade Ukraine, UK, funnily enough, was pulling back their defense budget at the time. Obviously, they've tried to put a little bit more money back into that. The weight of the burden, and so therefore should probably have most of the say in ending this war. And I think that'd be good. The whole generation of Ukrainian young men, I really do hope they protect that. The one thing I don't want to see is Ukraine going into NATO. I certainly don't want it going into the EU. The EU requirements of being EU member would utterly obliterate Ukraine. Imagine going to war in the Ukraine, fighting for Ukraine, and losing a big part of your generation, and then going back into EU and then realizing they're going to flood your country with people that are not Ukrainian. You know what's going to happen there, right? You can just do the math. So let's see. Hopefully he wins that war and Ukrainian gets to protect there. And obviously the borders aren't going to be the same, but peace will be important, and that senseless loss of life. Now, so that's boding really well. So Trump's doing well, reorganizing the World Trade Order. Doing well with energy is going to be amazing. They've already just announced a new LNG plant down, I think it's in Louisiana, off the coast of Louisiana, and that's going to be probably take about 9 months to build, and that's going to be a net exporter, right? So net exporter, people like Japan, people like India, they're loving that gas, right? Gas is the biggest growth out there. If you don't have gas, you're forced to use coal, and if you want to be, environmentally friendly, although obviously plants like CO2, then you've got to go nuclear, right? So that's something that potentially even New Zealand's facing, is to go nuclear. So micro nuclear, but it's a lot safer than it used to be decades ago with the technology, right? So it's definitely a viable option. We saw Germany, remember, famous Germany shut down all the nuclear plants. What a foolishness. That was a disaster. And then they end up forcing to take Russian gas. So it's just pretty crazy. So hopefully we'll move forward with that. Hey, we got Hedgehog in the house there. Woohoo! Good to see Hedgehog. We got Brian in his house as well. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. Brian, our community leader, of course. And we got who else in here? We got maybe it's because my the internet connection that I've got at the moment is a little bit weak, so maybe that's what's causing it. I hope you guys can hear me better. Yeah, so let us know if everyone is hearing me properly there. But I do see that the internet connection is, it's got a bit stronger there. So hopefully that's picking up now. All right, so that's where we are on that one. So let's jump away. That's some of the politics that's going on. Very important in terms of all these positive things from Trump, because it's going to be a better, stronger markets moving forward rather than a sell-off in the stock market. We're wanting to get some major, major value adds into the US and global economies to keep this thing rolling, right? To keep it rolling. We are pretty high on stocks, and of course, we want to have the crypto market do its full rally. And under a proper Trump administration, we could get that rallying into 2026. Could be very, very bullish indeed. We know that a lot of capital, institutional capital, wants to come to crypto, particularly. We've heard rumors on the street about Q2 in particular. So let's see how that goes. So far, Bitcoin holding up pretty well, $97,488, getting ready, I guess, for the move to the upside. And we've managed to defend 92,000 quite often. So Bitcoin at the moment, 97,500, up 0.9%. Bitcoin dominance of 58.44%. I don't think, like as I've said many times before, that we'll get anywhere near 70% before we have big altcoin season, because just the structure and maturity of crypto now compared to what it was in 2021. And for many of you that have been there in 2021, you know what I'm talking about with bridges and dexes and tokenomics and things like that. So I think that's going to be pretty different this time. And therefore, I think we're probably really up near the high of 60% dominance. It's kind of the play. And you see it retraced there as Ethereum will have its day in the sun. Now, Ethereum, obviously, lackluster performance so far relative to Bitcoin. And at the moment, it's down to $2,700, up 2%. I do believe it's going to have its day in the sun. A lot of institutional money coming into that, the Trump Foundation money coming into that. So I'm not too worried about Ethereum from a money point of view. And I realize that the second layers are eating a lot of the lunch of Ethereum, but they still have to batch up and run through Ethereum anyway with all the transactions. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, we've got Solana there up 2%, BNB down 0.75%, $657, ADA down 1.3% and just under 80 cents. We've got XRP is actually up pretty strongly today, $7.26. A lot of bullish forecasts about XRP, $2.74 at the moment. A lot of bank interested with that, right? So if the whole market does well, Ripple, of course, which does its banking enterprise with the XRP, then the market, the institutional money particularly, may favor the XRP. And so we could continue to see a big rally there. That's kind of the narrative around there. But in any case, I think they're all going to do pretty well. Tron there, down 1%, 23 cents, and Litecoin is down 1.25% at under $25. So those are kind of our leaders there. We've even got Sue up at the moment, up 2% at $3.53. So there we go. All right, so let's jump over to the Bitcoin chart. This is the hourly chart for Bitcoin. You can sort of see we're actually getting a bit of action, right? So we're getting a little bit higher highs here, just only 10 hours ago or so. We're currently at 97,450. We were recently up at 98,900, so we weren't too far away from 100K at the moment. We're about to get a golden cross on the hourly, and for what that's worth. But let's go have a look at the daily, see where that is at, and we're going to have to reset this chart. Let's go reset it, and here we are. Look at that, not bad. I think that's looking pretty good, actually. Now, it'd be nice to pivot over the 50-day moving average. We're currently at 98,145. I know that Brennan's out there. Let me know what you think about the TA for the Bitcoin chart. He's our TA guru. Let us know what you think in the chat there. We're at $97,432. Still got our golden cross. So we're still doing pretty well with the Bitcoin. And as you guys know, if we look at my forecast, this has been playing out for the most part pretty well. And we're still expecting 150K by the end of March/April there at least. So let's see where that goes. We're going to probably get something like this. So you see this big green stuff here. And it seems something like that. Now, obviously, we have volatility with some of the actions around tariffs that Trump's doing. Apart from that, everything else is pretty bullish for the upside that Trump is doing in the world, ending wars, world peace, lowering energy costs, investing, getting massive investing in AI and other technologies and infrastructure as well, just amongst the many of his plans, as well as trying to focus on freedom, democracy, and all that prosperity stuff, and of course get rid of crime as well. So very, very important stuff. Just doing all this common sense stuff. It's not, running a government's really not just common sense. Unfortunately, in New Zealand, we don't have a lot of it. I know a lot of countries where progressive leaders in particular have been destroying the countries. It's great to have a populist, common sense leader. And of course, we're getting more of those in Europe. There are more. We've got Le Pen in France. We've got the Italian leader, I forget her name now, Melania, I think it is. Poland. We've got the AFD in Germany. And of course, just common sense populism. And just safety, security, prosperity. I mean, it's easy to do. It's amazing how difficult it is for progressive leaders. Of course, they're trying to usher in some form of socialist authoritarianism, and we know how socialist governments operated in the 20th century. The biggest declines in economy, and of course, mass murders as well. So we're trying to avoid all that stuff, right? So freedom. That's what we can say. All right, so we're at $97,480. That's where we're ticking there. Let's have a look at our return so far for February. February's generally been green, right? Green months. We're down 4.9% at the moment. So it actually improved. We were down about 6.8%. So we're down negative 4.9%. And we've still got, for the at least half of February left. So let's see if we can get a green month just like we have previously out the second half of February. Bring it on. All right, so that is where we are at the moment. Now, we do have a couple other things that's happening with Trump. We've got a lot of the premiers, in fact, all premiers, I think, of Canada going in without Trudeau, the Prime Minister, to negotiate with Trump. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I think that's happened today. I think so. We've also had the UK fascist Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. I mean, this guy's a tyrant. He's just a Western tyrant. He's going in probably in the next week or two. He's asked for an appointment with Trump, so he's coming over to see Trump. We'll see where he heads with that. That guy is a very dangerous man, Keir Starmer. So we'll see what Trump says to him about his tyranny that he's trying to impose on the British people. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We've got lots of stuff happening there. So anyway, we've got Bitcoin at the moment with the ETF flows. You can see they've kind of been negative for Bitcoin the last couple days, but previously they had been quite green. Keep a lookout for that because I think that's going to be a real cool signal, institutional money coming in through the ETFs, as well as what we're expecting from Trump. Still expecting stuff around crypto for Trump, not just the digital strategy, but specifically around strategic Bitcoin reserve, things like that. I think that's still to come. So keep a lookout for that. That could be massive news. Could be the catalyst that we want to get, big jumps in the Bitcoin price and therefore altcoin season coming as well. Ethereum at the moment on the hourly, it's also coming up to a golden cross also, $2,725. Only about 6-7 hours ago, we were up at $2,800 almost. So it's not too bad. And let's have a look at the daily for Ethereum. On the daily, let's reset this as well. We've got a bit of work to do. So we actually have a death cross compared to Bitcoin, which is still flourishing in its golden cross. We should have a death cross from the 13th. So we're going to, hopefully this will be a short-lived death cross and we can move into a golden cross again. So that would be particularly beneficial. You can see we have crossed over a few times before. So let's see how we go. That was a golden cross there, a short-lived death cross. Hopefully this death cross is well short. This could be hopefully it's just a blip because the Bitcoin's still looking very good. But at the moment, that's kind of where we are on this. So let's see if we can have a very short death cross there. In the meantime, obviously accumulating some ETH at good values, definitely an opportunity, or you could wait a little bit there, see if you can get even a bit more cheaper depending on where Bitcoin heads. But we are in bullish green month for February. That said, the tariffs, settlement down. We had about a 30-day window on those to get some agreements done. So it could be a little bit turbulent in February. So let's see where all that lands. All right, so that's going to bring us into Pulsechain. Before we do that, we've got a couple more comments. Let's see who else has jumped in here. It's a workable boss talking about the mic. Yeah, I think it was the internet connection had dropped off a little bit there. John says nothing beat Supra when he gets released. And what else there were to the main exchanges? Not sure what that's about there. Talking about a level 1. You're shilling a chain there, John. All right, us there. No shilling in chat. That's the one. Yeah. All right. You're probably gonna get yourself timed out, to be honest, if you're shilling. Let's see what else there. Wrench time. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's what happens. Thanks for doing that, Brian. Brennan says, just a waiting game at the moment. Super ETH and BTC are making high lows at the moment, but ETH needs a pump back above the 200-day on the daily. There we are. That's pretty good insight there from TO Guru Brennan on the ETH price. Now, we've got the end of day 644. Can you believe it? 644 days since Pulsechain's been alive. Would it launch the 13th of May, 2023? It's crazy. Think how much time's gone past. Now, the price of Pulse still below sacrifice price, so still opportunity for once we do finally get that run, and we're going to have an alignment of things happen for this bullish run when Pulse does run. We're at contribute 0468, down 9.25% at 47% of mean sacrifice price. Now, obviously, we've still got the SEC court case overhanging over Pulsechain to some degree, particularly Richard Hart. And we'll see what happens with that. It's obviously, I think, 75% plus in our favor. We've also got the new administration, new SEC leadership that we know is going to be pro crypto and potentially dropping a lot of cases. We've had an early clue of that, so we'll see where it goes. That's definitely a bullish catalyst. PulseX there is at quadrant 0369, just under 37% of the mean sacrifice price for PulseX. That is down 12.3% today. We did have quite a bit of rally on Pulsechain, so maybe just a bit of profit taking going on here, and pull back in that ETH price as well. Correlation there. We got buy and burn at 1.27 trillion. 6.38% of all PulseX has been bought up and burned. Now, incentive token $2.62, down 12%. The ratio is definitely pulled back there at 55,695. But what a ride it has been for INC. Isn't it been crazy? The inflation, of course, has been dropped by 20 times. So amazing there. So it's now only, 5% of what it used to be. And, of course, supply there around 55 million. That's not expected to grow very fast now. Inflation's been dramatically cut, 20x. Hex, of course, is at 1.4 cents, down 14%. The biggest loser of the day, if we can say that, the biggest retrace. EHEX there at 3,400th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX is at 1.75 cents. And of course, it was about 2.25 cents only 2 days ago or so. So pull back there. So if you wanted to pick up some Hex, definitely time to do that. I am hyper bullish on these projects, and particularly Hex. And of course, with the cut in inflation, we've seen a big amount of liquidity leave the system, right? So that has been a major event. So which means that that money can go somewhere else. Also, it means that people can that the prices on Hex and other Richard Hart coins can pump really heaps more, right? So back on the 13th, we saw a 40% reduction from about $210 million in the farms when emissions were cut, and that went down to about 127 million. I'm not sure where that is today. You can just add up the farms, but that's definitely a pretty significant drop there from a 20x cup. So actually still holding up pretty well. In any case, it means that the prices can be pumped up and down much easier, right? Remember, these are V2 pools, and so they go up and down by square value. So interesting times ahead for the old Pulsechain. Any pullback is a good opportunity. 2.4 million beats at the moment as the gas prices is definitely elevated. Ethereum is 1 gwei, so 25 times cheaper than Ethereum. Moving to the validators, we've got 46,363,000 validators. So that's definitely gone up. It's as long as the chain is getting more valuable. What we're seeing is the chain is getting more valuable. It's more expensive to operate on the chain, and so it's going to be a good sign for Pulsechain getting becoming a more valuable chain over time. And it's going to happen in ebbs and flows, right? So we've got the bridge at the moment, 123 million. So that's down from 126.9, I think it was yesterday. So that's down about 3.5 million there compared to yesterday. We'll keep a lookout on that bridge. Moving the volumes, 53 million in volume today on Pulsechain, and on Dex Screener, that is ranked number 5 again. So actually, we're still ranked number 5. It's pretty good. Transactions 375,000. Top performers. Most of these top performers, apart from Finvesta and PDC, the Greys here, all are launched from the looks of it on the pump.tires site that Richard Hart launched, right? That has popped a lot of volume into PulseX. Also, pumped a lot of burning on pulse fees, right? So, and also heightened the gas prices, right? So we've seen a lot of different impacts on that pump.tire site there. Yeah, we've got these tokens operating pretty well. Investor doing well there, up 5% today. That's kind of a lead there. Otherwise, we don't have a lot on the trending 6-hour trending leaderboard there. So that's pretty much that on there. Now we're going to quickly jump to Pulse Mafia because Pulse Mafia is continuing to grow. If you haven't played Pulse Mafia, definitely get yourself a player. It's only 2,000 Mafia, so it's only a couple of dollars at most. I mean, on BNB, it's probably 50, 60 cents. On Pulsechain, maybe $2-3 just to get a player, and you can start playing. So now it's obviously on a pre-launch phase at the moment before it goes live. But if you do want to get out there and play, get in there. Once you start a player, 2,000 Mafia, you can buy it on Pulsechain. Then you can just go to more token here and go buy Mafia. There is a tax on it, buy and sell tax, 4.7% buy tax, 16.6% sell tax. So you probably need 5 and 20% slippage respectively around there. And that's the contract on Pulsechain. Yeah, get a player and think about playing here. There's 1,154 other players. It is the number one GameFi on Pulsechain, the number one NFT marketplace on Pulsechain, and the only metaverse. And you can see all the metaverse here with the maps on Pulsechain. We're pretty bullish about where Jacob's heading towards this. And obviously, we're optimistic about it also getting one of the top DeFis on Pulsechain as well with PUSD ALGO. So check it out. Now, if you want to join a family as well, you can join a family. I'm the consigliere for the Directorate Allegiance, which is a group of about 5-6 families. And you can definitely look to join up with us. Hit me up in the Discord for that, or just go through one of the families here. You can go into Yakuza, for example, and you can find our socials here right there. So I'll go into the Telegram group there, hit the Telegram, and that will take you to our recruitment. And we are open to recruitment, so go and hit that up. You'll meet our Don, who's actually running it now, which is Max Payne, doing a great job out there. So get in there, the Don of Dons. So that's pretty easy to do. Now, obviously, with all these top tier stuff from Jacob, we're also expecting the PUSD Algo to be a key player in the DeFi space on Pulsechain coming up. And so you got a chance to get into this still. Now, this has been open for over a year, trying to get towards the required funds. And this is a sacrifice set, but it's not like others, right? So up to 75% of the funds raised are going straight into the protocol day one. So it's not like other ones where they get to go over on a big holiday in Hawaii. This is money's going to be used straight away off the bat. So it's really, really cool. Jacob's obviously got a good reputation for this, and he's currently leading, like I say, on Mafia in just about every category on Pulsechain. And this one will definitely be one of the top DeFi projects on Pulsechain too. Offering our 5th stablecoin, PUSD ALGO. So the ALGO is going to be the arithmetic stablecoin. PUSD will be the stablecoin with the best brand name. Who can beat a better brand name than PUSD? It's also going to be solving the stablecoin trilemma, which is scalability. So it's really going to help to add a lot of value on Pulsechain, not limited in many ways by the liquidity fork models or the Coast model. They're both great contributors, but this can really be unleashed with the algo there being able to mint PUSD. The other thing is that it's going to be pivotally different. It's going to be full DeFi, and that's really amazing. So with the stability miners, people are going to be able to provide liquidity. Those stability miners will be able to keep the dollar pegged. The dollar is going to be pegged, and also it's going to be backed up by a USDL. So it really is a superstar potential PUSD. Now, it's speculative again, just like pretty much all of crypto, but this has really got some innovative technology and tokenomics, and the test version worked fantastic. So very optimistic about where this will go. Now, you can get 2 bonuses in this. You can get a 90% referral bonus. The link's in the video description, so you're winning straight away with that. And if you do inclusive of the referral bonus, so let's say $840 plus the referral bonus, it'll get you to $1,000. Once you get to $1,000, you also get the bonus X. So that's the second bonus, and that could be up to 2X. It's random, and so good luck with that. So 2 bonuses potentially if you do $1,000 inclusive referral bonus. So links in the description for that. It's also going to have a V3 DEX, which means that it's going to be widely opened and could easily compete and take number 2 spot behind PulseX. So ahead of 9mm 9-inch And I don't know what PH Universe is at the moment, but definitely up in the top dexes. And of course, it will benefit from dex aggregators like PortalX and Batias and things like that as it routes through volume as well. Also, it's a very good chance, in my view, that it could be integrated or at least associated with the Mafia volume on the Mafia game, Mafia being #1 GameFi. So I think there's a lot of potential upside there. I've got a whole series of videos on the channel. You can go look up PUSD ALGO, check out the videos with the founder, Jacob. I do suspect we're going to get a refresh in the UI and stuff like that as we move forward. Now, what's the roadmap at the moment? Well, we've got the Signum Oracle. That's going to be the first Oracle coming to Pulsechain. That is expected to launch next week, as far as I understand. I will keep you updated with that exact timeline, but that's when we're expecting it next week. That's a huge game changer for Pulsechain. It's going to unleash a lot of projects, in particular PUSD ALGO. And then after that, as it runs as expected, Jacob's going to give us an updated plan, and I'm hoping to look for an updated interview on that too, about the roadmap, because I think this could be up and running pretty quick. There's nothing, I don't see anything really holding it back too much. Now, obviously, they were targeting $1 million, but who knows what other capital could be arranged to set this up. But in any case, you get a chance to participate and support this project. Links in the video description if you want to get that 90% bonus. All I'd say is do your due diligence. Nothing's financial advice, and of course, be patient with the time frame there. That's about it. All right, so let's jump into TitanX. That's kind of our next topic. So we're going to talk about that. So TitanX at the moment is just having a bit of a pullback after having a little bit of a mini rally itself. But at the moment, we've got TitanX down 9%. But let's look at the ratio. There's a lot happening, a lot of moving parts happening in TitanX. So hopefully I'll give you a quick overview of some of those. Now, if you want to get full overview, join our strategy club. The link is in the video description. Only $35 a month, and we're passing all the intel through there that we think is relevant. So check it out. Links in the video description for that to join Strategy Club as well. Now, let's quickly get to the chart here. So we're obviously moved down. We had wave 1 in blue, wave 2 there coming down. We sort of had a higher low here at 603,000. We're now in the sideways channel, and this is looking good so far. Now, TitanX is going omni-chain with the X28 token, so they're basically interchangeable together. We're now at 33.81. But what's more important is, for me, is the ETH ratio, and this is looking pretty good too. So we're starting to get higher lows here, and almost got a higher high, like we're breaching here. So getting up there, and I guess if we can get up to 700, we're starting to mint higher highs here, and that's what we want to check out on the old TitanX. So it's starting to get some action here. Looks like the bottom is in. That is the ratio there on the daily basis there versus Ethereum. So we're at 9 zeros, 12.45 at the moment versus ETH. So that's kind of a little Blues Clues to where we're waiting for wave 3. And we're expecting wave 3 to be pretty aggressive as it sort of zigzags its way up. So still holding, still great spot to pick up X28. The other thing is I can see the X28 ratio now is 95. So it still hasn't gone back to parity, but still at 95 at the moment. So we'll see where that heads in the future. That's the on-chain version of TitanX. The other thing is, let's have a look at TitanX and see whether it's taken into account the Ouroboros volume. And no, it has not included that yet. So actually, the BOTs have got there. BOTs actually have. So BOT has actually gone up to 24 trillion. That was at about 22 trillion yesterday. So that looks like it has now included the BOT. Now let's have a look if it's got that down here. Ouroboros here. So 6.4. I don't know whether that includes the USD minting though. Presumably it does. I didn't see it before. But those are all the projects now burning away. So that does look very different to me. So it looks like it has included it on the BOT. I'll have to double check that, but that does look the case there. 2 trillion is hard to miss, right? 2 trillion. Now moving to Ouroboros, it is doing pretty well. So this is the big lending platform, USDX stablecoin in the TitanX system on Ethereum. And we can see some huge milestones. It has hit $1,025,000 in TVL. So congratulations to Shadow out there, because this is a great start. This is just over a day, right? So what's it, about a day and 8 hours or something, day and a quarter. So this is doing day and a third there, doing pretty well. So $1 million. So congratulations to that. So we look forward to this building up. Now they had launched yesterday about 60% of the protocol been launched up there, so they're still loading that up. I think LP is going to be added too, so the LP is going to be fattened up in due course as well. So they're sitting on a lot of that capital from the looks of it. Now the big deal is that TitanX collateral so far 2.2 trillion TitanX, so just over a day. That's really, really great. So I'm really happy with that result. And we're at DragonX is 120 billion. DragonX $286,000 worth versus 240. So really, really good stuff. That gets us to 1,025,000 in collateral. So well done for that. That is a very, very good start. Now, I did have numbers yesterday. I was talking about, doing, 1.3 to 1.5 over 2 million. That would be spectacular, but 1 million is a very good number. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing is that the backstop pool stats are 87.7. I know that Shadows were talking about getting that to 70%. So that is something that's probably going to happen, mature as the it just continues to grow. So doing very well indeed at the moment is the old Ouroboros. People obviously can mint USDX now by staking, collateralizing TitanX or DragonX. Now we believe that they're going to open that up to Ethereum and also open it. There is a governance, of course, and also open it up to Vaults. Vault's expected to be a beneficiary as well early on. Vault having one of the top volumes on the TitanX ecosystem. Very cool there. Now people can stake the USDX and get really nice returns. At the moment, it's like 1,665%. I saw this was at about 2,200% yesterday. So obviously, as more people stake, the yield will go down. But that yield is still looking crazily good, isn't it? 1,665. And people can obviously stake their RRX as well there as well. I don't know if they've got the yield on here, but they can do that too. So pretty exciting, early days, and going very well. All right, so that is Ouroboros, and we'll keep tabs on that for the next few days to see how that goes. In any case, things are going pretty well. Just a good opportunity to get in on these. Obviously, Ethereum there just had their death cross, but TitanX gives it a chance to breathe as well. It does a lot of stuff on its own. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is Hyper and Hydra. They're pretty much minted out for the most part. So we're looking for some action of those in the next week or two. And of course, Shogun there, we're expecting that to benefit from X28. And whether Shogun goes over to base chain as well as an omni-chain protocol, that'll be very interesting. Now, when I say omni-chain, I mean that the existing supply, there's only one supply, it's on Ethereum, but you're spreading it out onto other chains. So you're not duplicating the supply like a multi-chain approach would be, right? So that's the difference there. Volt at the moment looking still pretty strong, 9,380 on the ratio. This has got a huge roadmap, so I'm very bullish on Volt. The supply continues to go down by about 800,000 tokens or more a day. We're sitting at 44.47% of Volt burn now, only 582,874,000 Volt, so getting more scarce every day. It's got a huge roadmap. I mean, it's got Titan farms at the moment. It's going to have Ouroboros coming up. It's going to be having Thunder Vault staking. These are all ready. These are all pretty close, imminent, soon status. And then we've got Bitcoin Genie coming in not long after that, which could be a massive protocol on DeFi 3.0. So, and then more utilities after that. So Volt's getting scarcer and the roadmap's getting bigger. I'm really excited about where Volt will go. And it's got the mad scientist DVD there as well. So we've got some really good stuff happening there. Now I'm going to float all the way down here. Obviously on base chain, we're expecting Morpheus, maybe some more V3 dexes going to base chain, Pulsechain. That's potential there from Brandon. That's my speculation there based on some comments from Jake Sharp potentially. Or I'm making the association, but that is there. And of course, the farms from Tink Farms from Eric. Where's Tink Farms gone? Tink Farms down here, isn't it? Tink Farms currently at 8 cents. We're expecting that to go over to base chain and pulse chain and expand the presence of top tier, 3.0, I would say, DeFi farms. So looking really excited about that. Offer some awesome yields. And they'll be hard to miss over there on base chain and pulse chain. So very excited about that, especially now that the Ink farm has gone down so low. 4-5%, a yield. Tink Farm going over to offer 150% or something, or however long that goes for. It's very elevated. That could be huge over on Pulse Chain too. So it actually Richard Hart's moves on the PulseX Ink Farms favors Titan Farms move over there. The timing couldn't be better. I'm very, very excited to see where this heads. These farms are great. And I think, just trying to get more projects building on Tink Farms raise their Tink price, it just lifts the whole system, right? So that's another thing. But look at some of these yields. USDX, here, 516% on this USDX Ouroboros stablecoin at the moment. So some mad gains there. That's going to drive some value for sure, I'm sure. Has that just come out? I'm not sure. But we got 78% on X28 Tink, 75% on Tink TitanX. So, and remember, these are all deflationary tokens. I'm not going to say hyperdeflationary quite yet. That was the hope and ambition, but we still have a little bit of road to move before we get to hyperdeflation. Hyperdeflation for me, well, Ouroboros offered that with 2 trillion TitanX going into the protocol. That's hyperdeflation activity, is when you get some significant deflation in the TitanX system. I'm thinking about $500 billion a day, that sort of stuff. Once we can get some momentum in towards that direction, it's going to be heading very, very nicely. Now, don't forget, a lot of these projects are fair launch. They're also audited. So it's a very safe environment in TitanX compared to a lot of crypto out there. If you get rugged over places because it's typically not an audit, you don't know how safe it is. And of course, it does give you increased confidence in the project. So it's very important. Now, one I wanted to point out here was Uranus. Now, Uranus here, man, I think this might be a real winner. Now, it's speculative. It's speculative again. Once again, it's it's not where you're going to put most of your capital, but it's definitely, in my view, worth the punt. Do your own due diligence, not investment advice, all that good stuff. But this has only got 1 day and 14 hours and 53 minutes to go, and there's no price chart. This is the first project over on Base Chain as part of the TitanX Omnichain, X28 Omnichain. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. So obviously, at the moment, there's 176.4 billion X28. So that's TitanX basically is now over on Base Chain. Inside this project, $57,800. So it's a good start, but there's only a day and a half to go. And this is going to be really, really aggressive. There's no price chart. So you're getting the inflation out straight away. And then the chart will go live on day 9 on Base Chain. Base Chain's a meme chain, essentially. And so if this gets picked up, it could be massive. Now, let's have a quick look at the tokenomics to see why that would be the case. So inflation is out, no chart yet. Day 9, the chart will be live. And what's it got to push the price up? Green talks in crypto. Well, it's got a 50% is going to go into the buy and burn. So it's going to have that buy and burn pressure, which is going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. 42% of all X28 will be used to create thick liquidity, offering bigger players to come in and push that up as well. And then, of course, the taxes are going to be up to 20% reflection taxes. So it's going to be quite interesting to see this operate on Base Chain. Now, to understand it from the dude on a live stream earlier today, that they may max this out at 20% at the beginning. And of course, we saw how well Element 280 did with high taxes in its launch phase, massive gains through there. This thing could be a real doozy winner. And with the meme name of Uranus, everyone in crypto likes these crazy names. This could actually really, really fly. So with those buy and burn pressure, the taxes, and of course, you just hold the token, you can get mad gains with the taxes with a decent amount of volume. And then, of course, taking some liquidity LP wallets there to match up with other LP peers. So other projects within TitanX system to add more activity for the bots to operate on, get more taxes, etc. So, a lot of these taxes will come from MEV bots and things like that. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see it out. Now, nothing's guaranteed, but, man, it does set itself up for a real, real good chance. And, of course, if it creates enough of a green chart, MEV bots, and maybe the base community picks it up as well, and they like the meme name of Uranus, and before you know it, it's really starting to run. That could be pretty exciting. Could be like the Vault. We saw Vault there, and the first one on Base Chain. Going to be fun to see this operate. So that is Uranus there. I'll post the link to TitanX Sub just so you can check out all these projects in your own time as well. So that is looking pretty interesting out there. So big shout out to Dude, in my view, one of the 4 top devs in the TitanX ecosystem, doing some great stuff there. So yeah, ORX is out. So Ouroboros is out. Just a fantastic first day. Over $1 million. Uranus there. Just a really good chance to have a very big green candle chart there on the old Base Chain. Could be some good gains there. Nothing's guaranteed, but definitely set up well for it. Yeah, nice. Now, coming up in the future, as you guys know, for Vault, we've got Thunder Vault staking, Ouroboros staking, collateralization. But, man, I'm looking forward to the Bitcoin Genie that is currently in audits at the moment. Man, I cannot wait. I think this thing is going to be a real game changer at the frontier of DeFi 3.0. Can't ask for better than that if you like to be at the frontier of stuff. And this is looking to change the game a bit. It's going to be moving very much to supply, demand side and sustainable side projects. So looking forward to that. And of course, it's going to have Bitcoin, Ethereum as collateral as well. The chief beneficiary is going to be obviously Genie itself, but also TitanX and Vault. So feeding the Vault there with the new mechanism into the Vault perpetual auction. So looking forward to that. It's got tons of game features in there and end dates as well. Can't we wait to see this white paper. Stevie D, the mad scientist, says it's going to be the greatest white paper of all time. I believe him. He's a crazy mad scientist. We're looking forward to him, to seeing some of those features. So really cool. The other big one that could be coming soon is cryptographics Taurus project, and I'm very excited about that coming up too. We'll talk more about that as it gets closer, but that looks like it's going to be out in Q1 as well, so before the end of March. Keep an eye out on that. Now, I know some people have been talking about Flare as well, so we might pick up a bit more conversation about Flare coming up too. So those are some of the cool things happening, and at the moment, some really good entries to pick up some of the stuff because it's looking pretty positive, I think. You can get it nice and cheap while TitanX is down at the bottom of that second wave, consolidating to the sideways action, and then looking for that wave 3. Picking the bottom, that's what you want to do, right? Buy low, sell high. That's how you go. Very cool. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. It's 46 minutes in the house there. Crypto markets, I think Bitcoin looking pretty good. Ethereum there a bit on the weak side, but I still have the same argument coming that it's got the institutional support and the altcoin season still coming, so not too worried about that. Pulsechain has got so many bullish things coming up, isn't it? I mean, we're just seeing a couple of things from Richard already. We've got the tri stable coins pools, which I think were a good move. They're currently earning about 11% yield. I mean, it's fantastic on stable coins. And then you've got the INC being cut 20x in inflation, so sitting at about 5% of the inflation rate. That's crazy. That obviously gives opportunity to Titan Farms coming over, and couldn't be asked for better. I mean, Eric couldn't have asked for a better timing for that. And then, of course, we've got that's going to create a lot of activity too. A lot of activity. It's going to be really interesting to see Titan Farms go to Pulsechain. I don't know. I know Eric's going to base chain, and he's been talking about Pulsechain, so we'll see where he lands on that. He's also supposed to be bringing over the Crush game, right? So we'll see where that launches as well. But that's going to be pretty exciting. Obviously, we've got the SEC news. That would be bullish for Pulsechain. We've obviously got the Magic Carp ride and ETH price recovery, very critical for that to be used and how that might be used. We've also got, obviously, the P maker theories out there. There's a lot of catalysts, and, of course, anything else that Richard's got up his sleeve could be pretty crazy. So, yeah, and if Bitcoin does rally to 150, 200, 250K this year, man, oh, man, it's game on, isn't it? Game on. And I have a big feeling that Hex is going to run pretty strong. I think Hex is going to be running pretty strong. It's got relatively thinner liquidity, and of course, we get all those bullish catalysts. It could be absolute game on. TitanX at the moment, you're getting in there on the bottom of the second row. Like I say, I think the roadmap's going to be pretty fun. It's a different path to value, right? Different path to value from Pulsechain. But man, the hyperdeflationary narrative, the omni-chain narrative, the frontier of DeFi 3.0. It's got a lot to offer there, and the buying burger mechanisms, the web LPs, the AI agents coming up. That could be quite innovative too. It's going to be fun to see all that play out, and of course, they're going to get domination. And if that wasn't enough, we've got X1 coming, and the first fork of Solana, obviously another top meme chain, and looking forward to see that with all the bells and whistles of all the latest tech. And tokenomics, that could be an incredible value creation there on X1. So we can't wait for that, to talk about that more. We might bring up the white paper on that and actually talk about that on a separate video. Probably a good way to go with that. Brendan says, come on, the bull market. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we've got the perfect president for it. If we were going to have an extended bull market and actually get that realized, then, yeah, we got the best president for it. A bit of volatility to kick off, of course, but excited about the value that he's going to create. It's going to be pretty amazing. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you want to join Strategy Club, links in the video description, $35 a month for that. And if you want to get that PUSD ALGO referral code, get it 19% free value. And that is just looking to be so good on the old Pulsechain as well. The timing will probably be perfect in the bull market there. All right, take care. I'll catch you in the next one. And bye for now. Take care. Enjoy yourself.